Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Convention Chat. I have with me Dr. Derrick Brookins. He is the artistic director and founder of Brothers in Song, and they are going to grace us with their musical presence on Saturday at the convention to close out the convention. And we're so excited to have that group on the stage of Lila Cockrell to close out our 2024 summer convention. We're going to be talking a little bit today about the group, and I'd just like to turn it over to Derrick and tell us maybe background, history, some interesting information about Brothers in Song.
Well, thank you, Suzanne, for inviting me to be a part of this. We are so excited to be part of the 2024 clinic for TCDA. Brothers in Song began in the middle of the pandemic in 2020, when you couldn't really sing and choral music wasn't really happening then for obvious reasons. But I just had a desire, and I've always wanted to put together a group of friends to work choral music. And I was actually driving somewhere on the road, and it dawned on me, I've never seen, to my knowledge, a choral ensemble of men that looked like me
Okay.
to do choral music. So I thought, while driving on the freeway, surely I know. And I began to start thinking, putting together names. Like, I'm just gonna call this friend, and we call that friend. And hey, have you thought about asking him? Well, let's call this friend. And so you know what? Voila. I got home that evening and was working on something, and another friend of ours, who we all know, Stacy Gibbs, had contacted me about a piece that he and I were working on together. And I told him I had this idea, and he says, "Wait, I have a piece for you." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So it was a Christmas piece, because it started right around 2 weeks before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And so he sent me the piece. I called to the guys. I said, I have no idea what this is going to look like. This could be, a nightmare. Could be fantastic. You never know. So let's just get together. Let's do a little sight reading and see what it sounds like. Stacy
That's
sent over
always
the
fun.
piece. Yeah, it's always fun.
Sight reading, yeah.
Uh, so we got together at the church, and we'd all had our vaccinations. And so we still wore our masks and so forth, but we separated, and we sight read the piece. And it's like, well, let's record it. And I will never forget the look upon everyone's face when we all heard one another as an ensemble.
Wow.
And it was just this magical experience. And at the end of the recording session, which didn't start out a recording session, but ended up being one, at the end of that, everyone was saying goodbye and good to see you and so forth, whatever. And there was one of the singers came up to me, rather, large man, and there were tears in his eye. And I said, "Are you okay?" I didn't know if everything right. And he says, "You have no idea how much I needed this in my life and what this means for me." And so I took that as said, okay, I think we've hit on something.
Yeah.
And slowly but surely, the other guys started saying, "Hey, when are we going to get back together again? And why not make it more than just one, experience?" Voila, Brothers in Song thus was formed.
I love the name. I love the name.
Oh, thank
And
you.
you know, that time frame was so significant to everyone in
Yeah,
just the need to keep singing. Somehow the need to.
Somehow.
Right. Well, good for you for finding that opportunity and reaching out to your wonderful network of friends. Um, have many, has the group changed in personnel over the years?
Not greatly. Yes, we've had a few guys come and go, but for the most part, the core is still there.
Yeah,
Um, it's the choir's formed of all music educators,
that's great.
which in itself is a unique animal.
Hmm.
That comes with some wonderful pluses and some cons. So, no, we don't rehearse or have the opportunity to rehearse every week because you know the schedule and the life of a secondary choral teacher and some elementary music. There's no way because you have your family, you have your choir, you have your church.
Hmm.
There's no way. So I'm restricted to only rehearsing according to the teacher calendar.
Okay.
So, so when we do rehearse, it's kind of intense because we have a lot to cover in a short period of time.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, the good thing is everybody can read.
Right. Right.
The good news is I can say choral things to them, and everybody
Boom.
gets it.
Yeah.
Boom.
Do you do mostly a cappella repertoire?
I would say it's about 80-20.
Okay.
Gibson acapella because one of the focuses I wanted to be certain that we cover in this ensemble is work of African American composers,
Hmm.
um, not just the spiritual, but also non-idiomatic music as well. And so the Alleluias, the Glorias, and so forth.
Right.
Um, and most of that music is written a cappella. We do have some of the standards, some of the male core standards, like Last Words of David,
Yeah.
with that wonderful opening boom.
Yeah.
So it's a couple of things. So we use piano on, but for the most part, I would say 80% a cappella.
Yeah. What kind of performance schedule do you have that's, you just like a normal year
Well,
performance? Or is there a normal year?
that, my friend, is an interesting question because at the start, the premise was okay, because of our work schedules and schools, whatever, we're only going to do maybe two concerts a year. That's it. Well, two has turned into three,
Mhm.
which has turned into five, and so you can see where it's going.
Mostly in the Dallas area?
Dallas Fort Worth, yes.
Mhm.
I have done primarily Dallas just because that's home base for a lot of us.
Mhm.
And I started to get some backlash from the Fort Worth people, like you don't ever come to Fort Worth.
Yeah.
All right, so we went to Fort Worth, and we Arlington and Mansfield, and kind of the DFW area,
Yeah.
and
Well, so
it-
coming down to San Antonio, that'll be is that gonna be the first time you'll have really branched out?
I would think so. Yeah. The good news is, like I said, we're all choir teachers, and we're all members of music organizations, TCDA, TMEA, and all that stuff. So San Antonio, for all of us, is our second home, much like it
Mhm.
is for many choir teachers in Texas. Um, but I think that will be our first. You're right. That'll be our first time outside of our metroplex area.
Well, that's great. Do you,
Oh wait, I stand corrected.
okay.
Duh, we sang at the TMEA convention um 2 years ago.
Oh, you did. I'm sorry, I missed
Yes, child, I totally forgot. See, this is what happens when you reach 35.
that. Yes, I understand. Last year for me, right?
Last year, exactly. Uh, TMEA had their opening ceremony and invited um, Brothers in Song to serve as one of the opening numbers for that.
Oh,
So This is actually our second time in San
Okay.
Antonio to perform
Yeah.
with the group.
At Lila, the performance at Lila also at
Yes,
TMEA.
ma'am. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yes.
That's awesome. Um, do you have a specific mission, or, now that you all have been in a thing now for over 4 years,
Hmm.
uh, do you have you designed like a real mission statement, what your goals are for the
You
ensemble?
know, as a volunteer-driven community choir, Brothers in Song exemplifies the transformative power of choral music education and the profound impact it can have on individuals and communities alike. Affirming our motto, we are better when we sing together.
Yeah, that is so true. That is so true. And that is TCDA. We're better
Uh,
together.
We're better when we sing together.
Yeah, right. Right.
Oh, that more people across our world would sing together more.
Hmm.
I think
Well,
I heard Dr. Barra say at TMEA, people who sing together can't war. I may have quoted that wrong, but it was just so beautiful, and I loved it. And it's like,
mhm.
that's right. People who make music and sing together don't fight.
Well, I tell you that I think that over the pandemic, this is one thing that I recognized. It seemed that music making, singing in particular, became much more widely recognized as people were looking at YouTube videos of individuals
Yes,
standing on their balconies and singing and so forth.
yes,
And I believe the strength of choral music was just more widely known during the pandemic,
right.
and
Yeah.
recognized as being an art form that is extremely valuable. And of course, we all know that as educators, and how important it was for our students.
Oh,
So,
most definitely. Most definitely. I can't even begin to tell you the profound effect this group has had thus far on local male choruses
mm,
throughout the Dallas Fort Worth area and the school district. Because, more than just educators and performers, as a community choir, Brothers in Song is deeply committed to nurturing the next generation of male chorus singers.
mhm.
So we're doing outreach, we do all state choir camps, we do performances involving, you know, other school male choruses. And so, each one teach one, each one reach one, that type of thing.
Love that. I love that. Well, we probably need to, I'm going to close on that. That's a
Okay.
wonderful thing to say there. And uh, before we do close, any words on auditions, or how one might be able to become involved in the ensemble?
I would love that. What I would love to do is branch out. We've actually talked about this as members, and uh, why not just branch out across the state?
Hmm.
Uh, so there are things on the horizon.
Great.
There are things we're talking about.
We'll definitely get the word out, and people can find you during the convention to talk about auditions. And
Yes.
we're gonna add some music from Brothers in Song here on this video, so people can get a little sneak peek at
Okay.
the performance. And we're just so excited to have you part of the convention. Thank you for submitting your ensemble, and thank you for your years of service and commitment to TCDA. Please thank all of your singers ahead of time, and I look forward to seeing you this summer.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you again, my friend. We'll see you on
Okay.
the river.
We'll see you.